know what I'm laughing at. Hi everyone, Nathan E. Wellman here. Internet's busiest. I'm not really the busiest anything, but because I'm not that busy, I spend a lot of time watching reviews by music critic Anthony Fantano, aka The Needle Drop. And in one of his recent videos called I Control What You Like, he responds to this viewer who said that one of his negative reviews had ruined Drake's shitty new album for him.
And he somehow shape-shifts your pre-assumptions of songs that you've already heard. And once you listen to it again, you're not gonna like it, but he's right.
Honestly, this is one of the few things I will never get and I will never understand about my reviews. You cannot enjoy an album because I put out a negative review.
How can I like an album so much and then watch this review scared that I might change my mind?
I will say my opinion matters. My opinion controls you only as much as you allow it.
And it's a great video, and as usual, Anthony makes a lot of really good points on it, but I also think that he kind of sidesteps the issue of how the brain hears negative criticism from a trusted source, especially on a psychological level. So the way that the brain changes its mind about an album or just an idea in general is a process that psychologists call accommodation.
I learned something today.
Which is basically the process by which pre-existing information is changed in the face of new data. So when you're a kid, you're just like this blank canvas, accommodating everything that you see. But then when you get older, your brain gets way more protective about what it allows to change its mind about any given concept. So just two more psych terms in this video, I promise. This is where the terms in-group bias and out-group bias come into play. In-group bias is the idea that you're more likely to take seriously the opinions of somebody who is a part of a group that you already associate with. And out-group bias is when you dismiss or ignore the opinions of somebody who's a part of a group that you don't associate with. So our brains are way more likely to accommodate information that comes from our in-group. So an in-group can be a political party, a religion, a favorite band, or, yes, a YouTube personality that you watch for hours over the course of months or even years. So the more Fantano reviews you watch, the more likely you are to associate his opinions as worthy of accommodation. So when somebody like that criticizes a piece of music that you love, that gets really psychologically complicated, because then it's like one in-group is attacking another in-group. And with music especially, that's such a sensitive thing because music is so subjective. We put ourselves into a lot of the music that we love. So, like to use myself as an example, I love Childish Gambino, big fan, fuck all the haters. So, I listen to his music probably just for hours and hours and hours over the course of however many years I've loved him. I have some of his merchandise. Getting into him has opened the door for me to get into other artists. So psychologically speaking, I've kind of absorbed his music into a part of my own identity. So to hear my favorite music critic absolutely shred some of Gambino's albums, there's this emotional reaction that happens that's psychologically similar to a really close friend directly attacking me.
He gives you the impression that he is your buddy old pal friend. Hearing that review made me go on an emotional roller coaster at my body. At the same time, I was feeling angry, confused, disappointed, triggered, but at the same time, understanding of Anthony.
Now, of course, this is an absurd reaction, but it's one of those illogical brain reflexes that we all have. So when we're confronted with a conflict like this, we really have one of three choices, which Fantano himself kind of lays out in his own video. One, you can demote him into this out-group of critics who are just looking for things to be mad at, just shut it out of your mind, fake news style. Or two, you can accommodate his opinion into your own, but run the risk of potentially hating something you otherwise would have loved. Or three, rather than treating it as two opposing in-groups that kind of one of them has to win somehow, you can muscle your brain into actively engaging with the criticism itself rather than who's saying it, and force yourself to really figure out why you like the things that you like. Like, why am I so upset? Am I upset because I don't want to admit that he has a point? Or am I upset because I disagree but I haven't really defined myself why? I mean, do I actually love this album, or do I just love it because this band is in my in-group, or because my friends who are in my in-group like it? Because this dude is getting real specific about why he does not like it. And I think that should really compel us to get specific about our own musical tastes, because, as I said before, our music is kind of a part of ourselves. So if we have a deeper understanding of music, we understand ourselves better, which is the whole point of art to begin with. So yes, Anthony, you do kind of control what we think in a way, or at least you should be inciting us to think more, I think, ideally. So, please don't stop, because this is why good critics are so important, no matter how hated they may be. I give your video a light to decent 6 out of 10. Congratulations, it's just as good as my beautiful dark twisted fantasy. Transition. Did you dig this vid about dissing? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Let's debate it. Just express with finesse in the comments. Be my guest. Please subscribe so we can fly like bird feathers.